the Frostproof Bulldogs coming onto the field here at Florida Field, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, where the Class 2A Florida High School State Championship game is just about to get underway. Frostproof undefeated, ranked number 1 in the state. They are 12-0. The Newberry Panthers are 11-1. They are ranked number 2. They lost their opening game to the defending 3A champions, Santa Fe High School from Alachua. And since then, Newberry has been on an incredible roll. In fact, in their last 11 games, they've given up a total, Jim, of just 30 points in their last 11 ball games.
Of course, that one loss to Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a 3A ball club, a bigger program, a bigger school. This is the 2A state championship. Frostproof was in the finals last year. This time they're facing Newberry. And, of course, Frostproof was the runner-up last year.
The weather conditions here in Gainesville are excellent for football in December. Clear skies, 45-degree temperatures, not much of a wind at all, just a light breeze. And we're looking for a great 2A state championship matchup. For Frostproof, they finished their regular season 10-0, undefeated. And since then, routing Umatilla in the first round, and in the semifinal had a tough one with Pahokee, but anyone who knows anything about the quality of football they play at Pahokee and Belglade knows that it's tough to get by teams like that come playoff time.
Of course, Pahokee on the southern shore of Lake Okeechobee, and Frostproof down in Highlands County.
As for Newberry, we mentioned the opening day loss, since then 11 in a row. Keystone Heights gave them a tough matchup in round 1, and then they routed Pensacola Catholic, a team that almost beat the Class 1A state champs, Jacksonville University Christian. A very impressive performance by Newberry in the semis.
Yeah, with the exception of that opening game loss to Santa Fe, Keystone Heights is the only team to really press Newberry. But certainly this is a toss-up here this evening in Gainesville.
There's the referee, Alberto Riveron, will be calling the game, and the rest of the officiating crew from the Miami area. They always bring in officiating crews from quote-unquote neutral areas for the state championship matchups, and that's the crew we have working today's 2A title game. Eastside High School is a strong contender in 3A. They did not make it. This is the local team, so to speak, for these championships in Gainesville. Newberry High School, Jerani Rollins, Lamario Howard, Andre Hamilton, all deep to receive the kickoff of David Nelson. And when David Nelson approaches the ball, we'll be set to get going. The game clock froze at the 3-minute mark and hasn't moved since, and I think that's why we haven't gotten started.
Well, it's really comfortable tonight. We expected it to be a bit more chilly, but the temperature is rather moderate. It's nice and cool, and as you mentioned, the wind is no factor at all. Newberry did win the toss. They wanted the football. There you see the Newberry band striking up the school spirit in the stands.
A small band for Frostproof High School is also here at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. You would expect Newberry, with the proximity, to be much closer, being much closer, would have a very strong contingent, and they do, but there's also an excellent contingent of Frostproof fans, and we think we're going to have a very good matchup, but it is a clock problem that is causing the delay here at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, as they cannot get the game clock set. Now they do, and perhaps we'll be set to get going momentarily.
Of course, they play 12-minute quarters in high school football in the state of Florida.
It was up there for 3 minutes. I thought we were going to be done in very short order. Newberry more of a throwing team than is Frostproof. And here's David Nelson with the kickoff. It'll be fielded at the 13-yard line by Jerani Rollins. Rollins hit quickly and will be dropped at the 28-yard line. And that's where Newberry will go to work offensively. The line for the Panthers: Darling, Nelson, Harvey, Cruz, and Kevin Stevens. The receiving core: Jerani Rollins, the top target. He has caught 55 passes this year. And in the offensive backfield, the man who makes it go, Maurice Bell, over 500 yards rushing, over 1,900 throwing. Run a little cross-buck action with Monroe. And Marcelius Monroe for Newberry picks up about 7 yards on first down. Defensively for the Bulldogs, apparently Gary Swain was not there when they made the team visit to the barber shop. Tyrone Hamilton, Ernest Hamilton side by side at linebacker. The secondary led by the coach's son, Chance Brannon. Here's the hurry up and a quick throw caught by Monroe. Monroe up near the 45 has a Newberry first down.
Newberry, we understand, traditionally calls the play at the line of scrimmage. They rarely go into the huddle. And Maurice Bell has a lot of leeway, a lot of freedom in terms of calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
Bell from the 44, and it's again Marcellus Monroe. He fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by Frostproof. Chance Brannon. No, it's Hires who fell on top of it. Robert Hires, the free safety, and the quarterback recovers for Frostproof.
Monroe through a gaping hole. The ball was stripped away initially by Tyrone Hamilton, the inside linebacker, and it's a big turnover early in this championship battle for Frostproof.
There's the offensive line for the Bulldogs. The receiving core, Dennis Baldwin, an outstanding player, and Ernest Hamilton, the tailback, Robert Hires, the quarterback. Hires also a pretty good runner. He bumps into the fullback, gets it to Ernest Hamilton. Ernest Hamilton into Newberry territory at the 37-yard line. Kevin Robinson makes the tackle for Newberry. We see the Newberry Panthers up front. Carlton Lee, a guy who has to make a lot of tackles inside. Justin Holder, also a good player. The linebacking core led by Keith Kelsey, their top tackler. And Eric Natil, the free safety, the quarterback in that Newberry secondary. From the 37-yard line, first down for Frostproof. They were shut out in the state final last year. Hamilton again doesn't get far before he's driven backwards.
Ernest Hamilton with over 1,100 yards rushing coming into this championship battle. The player of the year in the state of Florida in this classification, and certainly one of the premier running backs in any classification currently in the state of Florida.
Ferris Brannon, 25 years the head coach at Frostproof High School.
Needs some experience, doesn't he? 25 years as the head man.
6th trip to the state finals. And the quarterback Hires is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Keith Kelsey got in there defensively with Justin Holder.
Justin Holder quickly across the line of scrimmage. Looks like there was a breakdown up front. Holder didn't seem to be touched. So after the big gain on first down, Frostproof has gone backwards.
There you see the numbers for Robert Hires, 1,200 yards, but the TD to interception ratio, excellent. 20 touchdowns, only 5 intercepted. But he's faced with a third down and a dozen from the Newberry 40. Hires throwing left side, way overthrown. Excellent pass rush put on by Carlton Lee, forcing Hires to throw it quickly and throw it too far.
Dennis Baldwin, the wide receiver, was the primary target right there, but Hires was not able to get the football to him, and on that third down conversion, the Panthers held inside their own territory, and looks like the Bulldogs will be forced to punt the ball away.
Miles Davis, the punter for Frostproof. He averages 36 yards almost per kick. No rush on. Wobbly kick fielded at the 14-yard line. Running left side looking for running room. That's Lamario Howard, and Howard is tripped up as he makes it too close to the 25-yard line. Lamario Howard, just an 8th grader at Newberry, but they don't have a junior varsity or junior high school program, so he plays varsity football while he's in the 8th grade.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? What a tribute to his athletic talent in a 2A program, in one of the top programs in the state, and the kid's on the field as an 8th grader.
Offside, and that's a dead ball foul on the high school level. Jumping on the right side was Mike Chatlos, the right defensive end. He broke the neutral zone, and as a result, it's 5 yards against Frostproof.
Dead ball, approachment, Frostproof.
So it'll be 1st and 5 for Newberry at the 30-yard line. Good opportunity for the Frostproof Bulldogs. Went by the boards on that last possession. Had a first down at the 37-yard line. Monroe goes in motion. They run the belly series with the fullback Hamilton, and he has racked up Tyrone Hamilton, Mike Chatlos in there defensively.
Both clubs with a Hamilton in the backfield. This one's Andre, and that was just a quick hitter between the left guard and left tackle. Picked up just yardage.
Bell throwing deep down the right sideline. He's got his man, Geronimo Rollins. Rollins inside the 30 to the 27-yard line.
Out of the shotgun, Maurice Bell feels the pressure to his right, steps up, and look, he threw the ball off the wrong foot, but still threw about 40 yards in the air on target to Geronimo Rollins. Just a beautiful play by the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Hamilton running left side, gets away from one tackler and another, and he's knocked out of bounds, and there's a late hit. So Frostproof made a nice defensive play, but they'll get the personal foul, and Newberry will have it down around the 12-yard line.
Brian Hutto, number 36, inadvertently made the hit along the sideline after the ball carrier had stepped out of bounds. I believe Hutto was just hustling over to make the hit and just lost track of where he was.
Maurice Bell, 1,977 yards, including that big completion to Rollins just moments ago. 22 touchdowns throwing the ball. He's also run for 10 touchdowns and over 500 yards.
Now, we mentioned Ernest Hamilton of Frostproof was the player of the year in this classification. Maurice Bell was the runner-up in that voting process, and we can certainly see why he's so well respected around the state.
First and 10 from the 12. Another crossbuck action, nowhere to go. And maybe back to the line of scrimmage, Marcellus Monroe. Ernest Hamilton in there defensively, along with Tyrone Hamilton. Tyrone, a 180-pounder. Ernest goes about 195. Bell pumps once, looking for the end zone. He throws, touchdown! We've got a flag on the play at around the 8-yard line, and the official who threw it seemed to be waving it off, but let's see.
Ineligible receiver downfield, Newberry.
It looked like Chance Brannon, the strong safety, fell down in the end zone as the ball came to Rollins.
Ineligible receiver downfield, Newberry, 5 yards, replay, second down.
But the touchdown will not count, and Brannon gets a break as the Panthers are back outside the 15-yard line instead of in the end zone with points on the board.
Second down, 15 for a first down, 17 for a touchdown. Hamilton catches the swing pass, but he won't go very far. He's dropped down at the 20-yard line. He lost 3.
Tyrone Hamilton. A lot of Hamiltons on the field this afternoon, this evening here in Gainesville. Tyrone Hamilton, that time the inside linebacker, number 49, hustling all the way across the field. There you see Tyrone to make that tackle for a loss.
There you see the ball just inside the 21-yard line. Newberry must get all the way down to the 2 in order to get a first down. Third and very long.
Yeah, that penalty was a huge break for the Bulldogs of Frostproof.
Bell again gets away from the rush, throws for the corner for Rollins, too strong. Again, excellent pressure on the defensive front of Frostproof.
Maurice Bell is yet to throw a pass stepping forward. He's running backwards, throwing off the wrong foot, mainly because of the pressure that's before him, but you can see the strength of his arm as he's been able to get the ball out near the receiver anyway, even though he's been under tremendous pressure.
And Newberry is going to call a timeout, facing a 4th down and a very long way to go. They don't have much of a kicking game at Newberry, and rather than to try a 38-yard field goal, they're going to try to come up with a play that gives them a chance to throw the ball into the end zone. There you see some of the people who made the drive over from Newberry to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. As we said earlier, it's not much of a drive, of anywhere from 8 to 12 miles, depending on whereabouts you live in Newberry. And before the game, we talked with Coach Ed Janes about the so-called home field advantage his team could enjoy tonight.
I think it's an advantage in convenience. We ate at our school pregame meal today and dressed in our own locker room and had a short bus ride over here. A lot of the fellas are familiar with the stadium. It's nice to be able to play here.
So Ed James has his team in a normal routine, so to speak, for the state championship. Of course, 4th down and 19 from the 21 is not exactly normal routine. You see Rollins in the slot on the left side. From the shotgun. Bell running out of the pocket, still being chased. He'll tuck it under, and he will be run out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So he picked up about 4. That's 15 less than he needed, and Frostproof will get the ball back.
One thing Frostproof has done very effectively is put heat on Maurice Bell. They've not let him stand back there and throw the ball with any comfort at all. He's had to scramble about, and that time on 4th and long, he had no chance of getting the ball deep into the secondary, so he just had to get what he could, and it was very short yardage gain, and now the Bulldogs have the ball back.
7:09 to go, opening quarter, no score. Second man through, Hamilton spins forward for about 4 yards. He's hit by Keith Kelsey, strong side linebacker.
You got to believe that the Panther game plan includes keeping a linebacker's eyes zeroed in on Ernest Hamilton. He's the big horse in this Bulldog running attack.
You see the Newberry defense as they gear up for Ernest Hamilton, an excellent all-around player for Frostproof.
He's 5'11", 195, not extremely big, but just good size.
And they did not get the playoff in time. So it'll be a delay of game against Frostproof. Hamilton's also a good receiver.
Dead ball, delay a game, Frostproof, 5 yards, replay second down.
He has caught 18 passes out of the backfield, and as we mentioned, he's the top defensive player, or one of the top defensive players as well at inside linebacker.
Not unusual in the 2A classification for a lot of these kids to play both ways.
So now instead of a pretty good 2nd and 6 situation, it's 2nd down and 11. Fake to Hamilton. The throw is to the big tight end. That's Tony Wise, and Wise is up to the 31, and he has a Frostproof first down.
Robert Hires does a nice job of reversing out from center, faking the ball to Ernest Hamilton, and getting the ball to that young man right there, Tony Wise, an excellent size at tight end, 6'3", 240.
And we'll see a lot of Tony Wise on the defensive side as well. Wise, a senior. Paris Brannon has a lot of players back from last year's state runner-up. There's Ernest Hamilton, and he has to fight his way to the 35. He got about 4.
Tyrone Hamilton, the fullback, doing a nice job of blocking right there. Of course, when you feature the tailback in your running game, that fullback is going to do a lot of lead blocking, and it was Tyrone Hamilton doing the job for Ernest Hamilton right there.
And Tyrone and Ernest, we are told, are not brothers, not cousins, but uncle and nephew. Tyrone being the uncle. And they're the same age. Looking to throw deep down the left sideline and overthrown. Way beyond everyone. Baldwin, the intended receiver, but back defensively, Kevin Robinson.
Hires has done a good job all season long, completing about 54% of his attempts, so he's quite accurate, although they don't throw the ball near as much as the Panthers of Newberry. Hires is accurate. That time they tried to go real deep, and he just overthrew the receiver.
3rd down for the Frostproof Bulldogs. They need to get to the 41. Swing pass for Ernest Hamilton. He's got it. He's got a first down. Hamilton up to the 46-yard line. There you see the good hands from Ernest Hamilton.
Absolutely. That's, as you mentioned, with 18 catches coming into tonight's ball game, he is a primary receiver, the number 2 receiver on this ball club. Hires does a nice job of just touching, laying the ball out there, and look at him avoid 2 or 3 tackling attempts and pick up the first down after he catches the football and runs with it.
Hamilton with over 1,500 all-purpose yards on the season. He gets the gift. And he gets about 3 yards to the 49. Keith Kelsey on him right away, along with Eric Natil, the free safety. And Hamilton is shaken up. And he'll need some help from the sidelines. Ernest Hamilton.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's not a good sign right there. He seems to be in a lot of pain grabbing that knee.
Ernest Hamilton, Mr. Do-It-All for the Frostproof Bulldogs. And they're checking out that right knee. Let's see what happened. If we can get an idea what happened on that play. Seemed to be a basic 3-yard run.
The tailback is deep in the formation, gets the ball deep in the backfield. Oh, it looked like it got twisted underneath him as Keith Kelsey was making the tackle. Kelsey's a big kid, 6'2", 195.
Now they've switched knees. Boy, you hate to see that happen ever, and hopefully it's nothing too severe. You know, when he first went through, it looked like when he planted on that right knee, even before there was much contact, it almost looked like the knee buckled inward on that play.
It didn't seem to be a great traumatic blow, just kind of a strain. Maybe it's just a slight sprain. Hopefully it'll be okay, but it looks like he's not even putting any pressure on it. I would say he's out for tonight.
Watch when the knee comes down right here. See if it buckles.
Just look for the right knee now. Keep your eye on the right knee. There he plants, and that's where Kelsey falls over top of it. Oh, that's too bad.
We'll get a report as soon as we can from Art Schifrin down on the sidelines, and now we continue with action. On the deep post pattern, there's Baldwin. He makes the catch at the 14.
Dennis Baldwin to the left of the formation. Goes deep, hires. Sees that he's beaten Mark Allen, the cornerback. Seemed like one of the defensive backs tripped there as the ball just got to the wide receiver.
On the carry, that's Tyrone Hamilton. He starts at fullback. He's also the backup tailback. And now he'll get the primary duty at the tailback spot for the Frostproof Bulldogs, who have the ball at the 9-yard line, looking at a second down and about 6.
Tyrone Hamilton with a shade over 200 yards coming into tonight's ball game. As you mentioned, generally a backup tailback, the primary blocker for Ernest Hamilton. He's now on the sideline.
And Tyrone Hamilton got a yard out of nothing. Calton Lee was in there defensively, along with Marcellus Monroe.
Yeah, that was Justin Holder that sprinted in there from the linebacker position, destroying that player, at least making it break down quickly in the backfield.
Jumping up and down there, that's Mike Pritchett. He is the defensive coordinator for the Panthers on 3rd down. Looking for the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown. Dennis Baldwin with the reception. That's his 14th touchdown catch of the year.
Mark Allen, the cornerback, was playing Dennis Baldwin inside, hit up to inside. Robert Hires realizes right away that he's got plenty of room to fade the ball deep to Baldwin into the corner. Baldwin understands that that's going to happen as well, and it's a quick touchdown.
And in for the extra point, David Nelson, and he just barely squeezed it in there on the upright. He's grateful that they have the wider uprights this year.
He's a straightaway kicker, too, Larry. When was the last time you saw a straightaway kicker in high school or college football?
I believe it was last year when Frostproof played Jefferson County.
I think so. Here's the touchdown again. Look at all the room that Dennis Baldwin has to work on Mark Allen. And Mark Allen just tries to react, stumbles at the last second, and there's the Frostproof touchdown.
So the Bulldogs, who were shut out in the state championship game last year, have a touchdown. They've got 7 points, and that's more than Newberry has given up to any opponent since opening day. 83-yard drive in 9 plays, and very impressive to lose their key player, their most valuable all-around player, Ernest Hamilton, and keep the drive going to score.
Yeah, that has to be a big lift to the Bulldogs, knowing that even though their star is on the sideline, they can still get things done with their offensive attack. They just have to rely on some other talented players to make up the slack.
So Frostproof will kick off for the second time. Newberry with 3 men deep, Geronimo Rollins, Andre Hamilton, and Lamario Howard. Nelson's kickoff is taken by Hamilton at the 10. Hamilton, looking for that burst of speed, is dropped at the 30-yard line, and that's where Newberry will start. First down and 10, trailing by a score of 7-0. Frostproof was here a year ago playing for the state championship. They make a return trip, and before the game, Coach Ferris Brannon talked about what advantages there might be in having been there before.
Well, in preparation for the game, just small things like what we're doing right now, things that you don't really have been prepared for before, it's bound to help. Just the fact that they know what we're doing, they know what's taking place. And, the fact that we have so many returning, just have a year older player to have, and it's bound to help. But we played an outstanding football team, and they have a quarterback that's quite unusual, so we're going to have our hands full all night.
2nd and 5 after Marcellus Monroe picked up 5 yards on that first down run. They run it inside with Andre Hamilton, and there's not much there. He got about to the 37, maybe the 38. It'll be 3rd and a couple for the Newberry Panthers, who try to get something going on offense, trailing by a score of 7-0. Still 2:08 to go in the opening quarter. And that's going to be very close. Monroe was dropped right at the marker. They needed to get to the 40.
It's like he might have bounced forward. They're giving him a generous spot there, it seems, right near the 40-yard line. They're going to have to bring the chains out. It's so close.
There you see Coach Ferris Brannon telling those guys, pull it tight when you get out there. As tight as you can pull it.
Oh, about a 6-inch short there.
4th down and a few inches. What do you do?
Well, I think you have to punt the ball away on your own 40-yard line.
Maurice Bell is the punter, and he makes the changes. Of course, with Bell in there as the punter, you can spring a fake almost any time, but it's Bell coming off the field.
Generally, when you want to fake, though, Larry, you're at midfield or near the other guy's 40, not on your own 40, but...
Jason McGehee is in there, but if they're going to fake it, they don't have their punter in there. I guess that's a pretty good indication they just might.
Oh!
McGeehee's got to pick it up and try to kick it quickly. Can't do it. The bad snap will give Frostproof the ball on the Newberry 11-yard line.
Oh, the ball sails way over Jason McGeehee's head. It was not a firm snap. The ball took off and floated over McGeehee's head. He had no chance at all. Just a tough break for the Panthers here deep in their own territory, giving the ball to the Bulldogs.
And McGeehee is the regular snapper, so I wonder if we can find out down on the field what happened, why the alignment that they used. Running play gets down to the 11-yard line. They marked the ball at the 17, not the 12.
Well, in championship games, too, Larry, you got to take advantage of breaks when they're given to you. And very important for Frostproof not to waste an opportunity right here and to smash that ball in, if at all possible.
Ed Janes calls timeout. He wants to circle the wagon, so to speak. His team facing a 2nd down and 4 against it. Backed up to the 11-yard line. And trailing trailing the Frostproof Bulldogs by the score of 7-0. You can relive some of America's greatest baseball games here on Baseball's Greatest Games. Every week on Sports Channel, we bring you some Super Bowl games from baseball's illustrious past, All-Star games, World Series, even some regular season action. Memorable moments in baseball's past on Baseball's Greatest Games each week here on Sports Channel. Be sure to check your local listings for availability in your area. We are at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida Field, on the campus of the University of Florida. The Florida High School State 2A Football Championship game. Frostproof leading Newberry 7-0. And Frostproof with a 2nd down and 4 on the Newberry 11 following the bad snap on the punt attempt by the Panthers. Ernest Hamilton remains on the sideline. His leg up on the bench for Frostproof. Running right side, not much there for Hamilton. First man to make the hit was outside linebacker Benny Crawford, and Hamilton fell forward to the 10-yard line where he is 3 yards shy of a first down. Let's go down to the field to Art Schifrin.
On the Frostproof sideline, they are checking out the right knee of Ernest Hamilton. Someone fell across the knee. He said that he heard something pop, felt something pop. They're reevaluating it right now. They're putting some ice on it. They don't know whether or not he will be able to go back in the game tonight.
All right, that would be a huge blow to Frostproof if they can't get their big gun back. On 3rd down, Hires pumps once, in traffic. Now he throws it up in the corner of the end zone, way overthrown, as the Newberry pressure was all over him. Justin Holder, David Robinson, putting a lot of pressure on Robert Hires.
Robert Hires does a terrific job of not eating that ball and taking the loss. He somehow was able to escape the pressure. He's going to drop straight back and think that he has a pocket right there, but it breaks down quickly as Johnny Smith is in his face, throws the ball away as additional pressure is added by Justin Holder, and he wisely, Hires does, throws the ball deep into the stands.
Frostproof calls a timeout with 12 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. This is like a college game. There have been so many stoppages during the first half of this ball game, so with 12 seconds to go and Newberry trailing 7-0. There's a timeout on the field. We encourage you to make plans to be in the Orlando area and in the Orlando Arena December 19th and 20th for the Florida Sunshine Basketball Challenge hosted by Florida and Florida State. They do not play each other in the tournament. There's a doubleheader each day with Florida State taking on North Carolina Charlotte, Florida battling Temple on Saturday, and then they will switch opponents on Sunday. For ticket information, call 904-375-4683, or in the state of Florida, 1-800-34-GATOR.
No field goal attempt here. They're going for it.
4th and 3. Hires rolling left, in trouble. He'll be sacked. The big play made by Calton Lee. And Newberry will take over at the 21-yard line as the left tackle, Calton Lee, 5'7", 185, but he makes the big play defensively for the Panthers.
Now, Calton Lee is untouched or avoids the blocking effort of the offensive line so quickly that Hires has no chance at all. A huge play by Calton Lee, coming up with the sack and denying Frostproof a chance to get points on the board.
And that is the end of the first quarter of the Florida Class 2A State High School Football Championship game, with Frostproof still leading Newberry 7-0. The Newberry Panthers really dodged a bullet there as Frostproof could not score after Newberry turned it over on downs back on their own 17-yard line. And now Newberry, which has moved the ball pretty well, Frostproof has as well, has it at the 21 to start this possession. Hamilton sweeping left side, looking for a seam, finds a little one, and he's driven to the ground by Chatlos and others after a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. There was confusion on our part on the punting situation. Bell, the punter, wasn't back to punt. Art Schifrin has an explanation for us.
Well, the Newberry bench tells me that they've got about 3 guys that they use in punting situations. There's no problems with injuries or anything. That's just who they decided to go with on that play.
Okay, so they went with the snapper to punt. There's a long pass. It's flagged in by no catch. Rollins did not control it as he hit the ground. The ball came out at the 46. They say he never had it. It'll be 3rd down.
Maurice Bell does a beautiful job of delivering the strike to Geronimo Rollins. Geronimo Rollins has a step, reaches up to make the grab, and can't quite lock up on the ball, and as he hits the ground, the ball falls away.
Bell in the shotgun on 3rd down and a long 7 for the Newberry Panthers. Throws it right side, right through the hands of Howard. Lamario Howard tried to go up and flag it down, and if anyone wants to question Maurice Bell's arm strength, there's a pretty good answer to that question. He zipped it.
That looked like a howitzer to Howard. Howard turned around, and that ball just zipped right through his hands. It had so much steam on it. Maurice Bell, we've seen him throw off the wrong foot. We've seen him throw under pressure, but somehow he still gets the ball exactly where he needs to get it. That time the ball was just dropped.
Now Jason McGehee will be the snapper as he is listed on the primary depth chart, and Bell will be the punter on 4th down. Left-footed punter. Baldwin lets it hit at the 48, bounces toward the Newberry sideline. And it was about a 7-yard return on that non-fielded punt. So Frostproof again takes over, a net of a 21-yard kick for Maurice Bell, and for the 2nd consecutive time, Frostproof starts in Panther territory.
Both teams having all kind of problems punting the ball here early in this championship battle. Frostproof was not able to take advantage of their opportunity when Newberry was not able to get their punt away. Newberry this time gets a short punt. Frostproof has another chance inside the Panther 45-yard line.
On 1st down, it's Tyrone Hamilton, and he's got about 5. Eric Natile makes the tackle. If you recognize that name from Newberry, Ricky Natile, a Newberry High School standout, and had an excellent career with the Florida Gators and on into the NFL with the Denver Broncos. Eric is his cousin. Assistant coach with Newberry, Mike Natile, is Ricky's brother, and he's got a nephew on the squad as well.
Great sports family over there.
Ricky is here. We'll talk to him before the game's over as Hamilton runs the right side for 2 or 3 more. Whidden, along with Kevin Robinson, make the stop defensively.
Of course, this is Tyrone Hamilton now called upon. That Ernest Hamilton has suffered that knee injury and is on the sideline. Ernest Hamilton was the star with the 1,000-yard-plus rushing year coming into this championship battle. Now it's Tyrone Hamilton having to carry the ball.
And it's 3rd down at the Newberry 38. Hamilton running left side. He won't get there. Good defense from David Robinson, helped out by Carlton Lee.
Well, you notice the team speed that Newberry has on defense. These kids are not exceptionally big, but they have a lot of speed and fly to that football, which you have to do on defense.
Well, massive substitutions into the game for Frostproof, and the punter, Miles Davis, is in there, but he's also the left tackle, so we'll see how they play it. 4th down and a yard and change, and they have him back there as if to punt. There's a flag. That'll be illegal motion, illegal formation, all kinds of illegal things.
There were about 4 guys mulling around in the backfield. Looked like Canadian football there for a moment.
Well, if it's not a dead ball situation, I think Newberry will take the touchback. 37-yard punt.
The ball was snapped before everybody was ready, I believe.
Illegal procedure. Frostproof.
I guess they just can't call him for all kinds of illegal stuff, huh?
Frostproof. Penalty is declined.
We'll see. There are not 6. There There are not 7 men on the line of scrimmage. People are moving all over.
Well, it seemed to be more motion than what we see on that replay, but they deny the violation and get the ball on the 20.
Well, there were only 3 guys in motion. One of whom was trying to get up to the line of scrimmage where he was supposed to be. Ball at the 20 for the Newberry Panthers here in a 7-0 ball game. Hamilton drilled behind the line of scrimmage, loses 5. Tony Wise.
Well, so far in this ball game, it's the defensive linemen that are taking control of the line of scrimmage for both teams, really. That time, Tony Wise of Frostproof is untouched and simply destroys the play in the backfield.
Down the left side, and that ball's going to be picked off. I believe that's Baldwin in and amidst all his teammates. No, it is not. It's Clay Brantley, the right corner, making the interception. And Frostproof, for the 3rd consecutive time, has the ball in Newberry territory.
Well, Maurice Bell gets a little greedy right here. He's got a wide receiver deep, but he's covered by Brantley, Clay Brantley, number 4, and he simply goes up and takes the ball away, and the turnover gives the Bulldogs again the football inside Panther territory.
Frostproof starts off at the 44. Second man, Hamilton. Tyrone Hamilton gets about 5. Justin Holder just missed, disrupting that play as he shot through and tried to get to Hires before he handed it off.
Again, it was a defensive lineman penetrating quickly into the backfield. Both teams, the defensive front seems to be beating the offensive front at the snap of the ball.
The Newberry Panthers just hanging on defensively. They have been backed up all day long. Hires off play action, in trouble, and he will go down.
Oh, he threw the ball away, too, and that's grounding and loss of down.
Well, they should just blow it down because Tyrone Hamilton's close by as he finally does throw it. But look at the pass rush.
Again, the defense just taking charge right here. He thinks at the last minute that he's got a chance to get rid of the football, but there's no receiver anywhere near where the football drops, and here comes the penalty on a series that started inside Panther territory. Now Frostproof is back near their own 40-yard line.
Mark it back to the 41. They started at the opposite 44. So it'll be 2nd and 25.
No, 3rd, Larry. They lost the down, too.
That's right. First down was the 5-yard run, so they lost 20 yards ended down on that play. And there's a long pass intended for apparently no one. Baldwin was about 15 yards from where the ball landed, and as a result, it'll be 4th down, and Frostproof will have to punt it away. And Newberry's got to be feeling very fortunate right now. They've given up the ball in their end of the field 3 times in a row without giving up points.
Well, and conversely, Frostproof has wasted some significant opportunities in a championship battle, and those wasted opportunities might come back to haunt them later in this game as they only lead by 7 points right now.
No movement on that snap. The punt will be fielded at the 32. Johnny Rollins will get nothing on the return, maybe a yard. Excellent kick coverage for Frostproof. Paul Weaver, wide receiver down there for the Bulldogs. 27-yard punt, 1-yard return, and Newberry starts out with their best field position in quite a while, the 33.
Well, we talked about the offenses at the open of this ball game, and it's the defenses of both teams that's really taken control.
1st and 10 from the 33. Sweep right side. Hamilton tries to get to the corner. Hires gets a hand on him, and then Baldwin finishes him off after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, that's the same Robert Hires that was playing quarterback a moment ago. This time he's a defensive back and does a nice job turning that play in, making the tackle.
2nd down for the Panthers. Out of the shotgun. Bell gets it to Johnny Rollins right at the 44. He's got the 1st down. Ferris Brannon on the far sideline. Thought the ball was short hop, but Rollins went down and got it.
Geronnie Rollins with 55 receptions coming into this ball game makes a nice grab right there. He went down knowing that he had to make the first down catch. He was not interested in getting any yardage. He was just interested in making the catch and wisely did so.
You like to see a guy hook it up a yard or two beyond the first down marker instead of a yard or two shy of it, and Rollins ran a good route that time to get the first down. Inside handoff, Monroe, not much there. Tony Wise again makes the tackle defensively along with David Nelson.
Well, you got to be in shape to play in this Panther offense, don't you? They don't mess around. They snap that ball so quickly.
Way overthrown. Breaking it off underneath was Clint Ferguson, and the ball sailed well over his head. And Newberry will be faced with a 3rd down and 8 from their own 46-yard line. Head coach Ed Janes, he was 3-7 his first year at Newberry in '89. Since then, 29-6.
Of course, he was a long-time assistant there before he got the head job, so he knows all the families in that community and has worked with a lot of these kids since they were, I'm sure, in grammar school.
On 3rd down, Maurice Bell. Right side, going up to make the catch. That's Geronnie Rollins at the 44 of Frostproof, and another first down. And again, just 2 yards beyond the first down marker, and he hooks it up.
I don't know that Maurice Bell has another receiver that he's even interested in other than Geronnie Rollins. And as you mentioned, he wisely runs the route so that he can pick up that first down. Ooh.
Short pass is incomplete. Straight over Ferguson out there on the left side, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Ferguson almost ate that ball in his face mask. No doubt that Maurice Bell has a strong arm. He's really zipping that football around the field this evening.
A little equipment failure out on the field. Or maybe a little shaken up. Geronnie Rollins. Look at him blinking his eyes. I wonder what could have happened to him.
I don't know. Maybe after he made that last catch, he was hitting the back as he was going down. Tried to stay on the field and continue to play, but they finally went out there and grabbed him and brought him off.
So while the Newberry people tend to Geronnie Rollins, the Panthers face 2nd and 10. Big hole opens up for Hamilton.
Whoa.
Hamilton will go all the way. Andre Hamilton, touchdown, Newberry. Well, it took a while for the Panthers to get some running room on the ground, but they break open a 44-yard touchdown run, and with the extra point can tie this game with 6:01 to go in the half.
Well, that was a quick-hitting dive to Andre Hamilton before the Bulldogs realized that Hamilton was beyond the line of scrimmage and in the secondary, and nobody even touched him.
Bell for the extra point. Maurice Bell connects. So the quarterback kicks the extra point, and this ball game is all tied up.
Watch how quickly Andre Hamilton hits the hole. The tackle crashes down on the linebacker. Tyrone Darling did a beautiful job at left tackle, and Charles Nelson did a great job at the point of attack as well. The left tackle and the left guard opened a gaping hole right there, and the ball carrier's untouched into the end zone.
We're talking about Ricky Natile. There's the rocket. It's over.
It's tied.
Rick, it's tied. It's not over.
He's thinking positively.
He's never met Yogi Berra, has he?
Well, he was part of that Three Amigos group with the Denver Broncos for a number of years, had an excellent NFL career, and this is his first year out of the NFL, and I think Ricky probably would like to give it another shot. He might have another year or two left in those legs.
I remember they didn't call them the Three Amigos at the time, but when the Gators had Ricky Natile, Frankie Neal, and Ray McDonald all catching passes in 1985, those three could do a heck of a job. Very hard for anyone to defend. Baldwin back to return the kickoff. And keep in mind, we've talked about Ernest Hamilton from the offensive perspective. He's also the top tackler on the Frostproof defense, so they're without him on both sides of the ball because of that knee injury. There's a wobbly end-over-end bouncing kick that's taken by an up man up to about the 41-yard line for Frostproof.
Brian Hutto, number 36, catches the squib kick. It seemed to be intentional. I don't think he mishit the ball. Here's that touchdown. Look at the left tackle and left guard right here. Make the gaping hole. And there's going to be a missed tackle in the secondary as well.
Chance Brannon, 13. You see the free safety coming right up to meet Hamilton, and Hamilton said, "See you later." From the 41-yard line, first down for Frostproof. There's Tyrone Hamilton, and he can't quite get to the corner. He was hit quickly by Benny Crawford, who slowed him down and Whidden finished him off.
Great job by Crawford, the outside linebacker right there, turning that ball carrier in, making the tackle himself on the outside.
Loss of 3 on the play for Frostproof, and now they've got to get a spark going for themselves after those 3 missed opportunities in Newberry territory. They find themselves in a tie ball game, less than 5 minutes to go in the opening half. Hires runs away from the pass rush and is then run out of bounds at the 37-yard line. He got maybe back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long for Frostproof. Let's go back down to the field to Art.
On the play previous to Johnny Rollins going out of the ball game, he hit his head on the ground on that pass reception. He's a little bit dizzy. They're walking him around, but they do expect that he'll be back in the ball game tonight.
All right, thank you, Art. 3rd down, he lost a yard. It'll be 14 yards to go for the Bulldogs. Hires, play fake. He's going to be hit from behind and then dropped. First man there, Trey Whidden, then Carlton Lee.
It's really the quickness of that front line and the entire Panther defense that's making the difference here this evening. Look at the hustle on the outside, running around the block of the tackle, Carlton Lee.
Trey Whidden, a 5'8", 170-pound defensive end. But that quickness up front is really helping the Newberry Panthers. There's the punt, fielded at the 37-yard line. Running left side, looking for some running room. Mark Allen.
And finding it, huh?
Allen still on his feet in Frostproof territory and dropped at the 49-yard line.
Well, you don't see that old stiff arm work that often, but watch Mark Allen use the stiff arm right here. Up, see you later. That was Brian Morgan that got stiff-armed. Then he did it again. Great effort. You can't knock him off his feet.
14-yard return. He ran about 78 yards to gain those 14. There's Hamilton running wide left, and he's going to be hit, and he's dropped at the 41-yard line.
Clay Brantley, the corner, did a super job right there of destroying that effort to get outside. Look at the top of your screen. You're going to see Clay Brantley fly up in, and as his knee goes down, the ball is dead.
So a big loss on the play. One play after Hamilton gains a touchdown. There's Rollins back in the game, and he makes the catch near midfield. He got about 8 yards. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Newberry Panthers. 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Robert Hires, the quarterback, now playing free safety on the tackle. I think that Panther defense has given this offense some new life and enthusiasm.
On 3rd down, they run up the middle.
That was a strange play on 3rd and 11.
Maybe Bill Curry signaled it in. Nah. Gain of a yard or so. It'll be 4th down, and we'll see if Newberry, as expected, kicks it back. Clock continues to run inside 2.5 minutes. There's McGehee. He was back to punt the first time, but he has been in his snapper's role for the last 2 punt attempts. Maurice Bell, the quarterback, looks over Frostproof, makes sure they're covering any would-be receivers. Bell see if the Bulldogs put the ball up in the air and try to move it here in the final 1:58. Now the clock starts running again. Frostproof has just one timeout remaining. They'll start out with the ball on the ground, and that's Hamilton. Johnny Smith there defensively, along with Kevin Robinson.
Once again, it's just the swarming defense of Newberry that getting to the ball, and there's really no opportunity for that Bulldog running game to get untracked right here in the first half.
There's Ernest Hamilton. You see Ernest's head just there to the right of the Frostproof sweatshirt that the person on the sideline was wearing. Run up the middle. That's with Brad Lord. Lord is wearing 56. Normally wears 46 as a fullback, linebacker for the Bulldogs. And with 1 minute to go in the first half, Newberry will call one of its two remaining timeouts.
Yeah, they have a chance to get the ball back if they can shut Frostproof down right here, make them kick the ball away. And as we've seen, both teams really don't have great punting games.
There you see Ernest Hamilton injured his right knee and has not been back in since. It has been iced down, and he's got a blanket over him. Let's go down to the field to Art Schifrin.
I just spoke with Ernest Hamilton, and he is obviously through for the first half, but he says that the knee feels okay and expects that he will be back in the second half tonight.
Well, we'll see if Dr. Hamilton's diagnosis is an accurate one.
Well, I can't believe that. As he's laying there on the bench right now, he looks like he's out of it.
It probably feels better because there's 8 pounds of ice on it and everything's been numbed. Would like to see it, certainly. Nobody wants to see any player out with an injury at any time, so we'll find out after intermission. 54 seconds left in the first half. Frostproof facing a 3rd down and 6. Newberry trying to force them to punt it. Myers streaking down the right sideline, incomplete.
Oh, it could have been offensive interference there. Kelvin Robinson has as much right to that space on the field as the wide receiver. The wide receiver runs right up his back.
That's Tony Davis. Going for the ball.
But you still make contact. I guess no harm, no foul. But I think the flag might have flown if it been reversed and the defender had hit the offensive receiver like that.
Newberry puts a pretty good rush on, but Davis gets off a good kick. Hits at the 43, goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line, and Newberry will have the ball with 1 timeout and 41 seconds remaining. There is a flag on the play back at the 26. 28 yards on the kick. Let's check out the flag.
Illegal procedure, 6-man line, Frostproof.
6-man line. I suspect Newberry will turn that one down. Take advantage of the short punt. And the coaches on the Newberry sideline are waving it off.
Illegal procedure, Frostproof, decline, 1st and 10.
Now, 43-yard line is not a bad place to try and start this 41-second drive.
And keep in mind, Newberry really doesn't have any kind of long field goal threat, something around 30 yards maybe, but not much longer than that. So they can't think in terms of a quick first down or two and then kicking a long field goal. They have to try to throw it deep downfield. 41 seconds and 1 timeout remaining. Bell quickly to Howard. Howard gets away from one man. He's dropped at the 48-yard line. A little bit shy of first down yardage for the Panthers, who hurry up.
Well, he was supposed to get a little help out there, but he took off, had the ball before his blockers got out there and almost picked up the first down.
Well, the officials
called timeout.
They looked at it for 7 or 8 seconds and then decided to stop the clock and bring the chains over for a measurement. Looks like he's shy by at least a foot, but we'll see where it goes. 25 seconds on the clock, so that play used up 16 of the 41 seconds Newberry has to work with. About a little more than a foot as expected. And they'll go place it, and as soon as the Panthers need to race up to that line of scrimmage as soon as the ball is placed. 7-7 tie, 25 seconds to go, first half of the Class 2A state championship game. You see the Panthers, some of the guys set before the whistle. Now they're all set before the whistle. That's good. Rollins in motion. Rolling right side and running out of bounds for a loss of 12.
Paul Updike, number 9, just destroys the play. Again, the corner coming up so rapidly in his role to force the play. For David Nelson, number 8.
But again, that cost some time. Now the clock is running again. And the officials have to stop the play and get the clock reset. I believe it was 18 seconds when the play ended, so they lost 7 seconds and 13 yards on that play.
Please reset the clock to read 18 seconds.
Now they'll try to reset the clock at 18 with 1 timeout remaining and 3 receivers out to the left. I think Maurice Bell will find out just how far he can throw the ball on these next 2 plays.
Yeah, with those triple receivers wide left, I'm sure he's just going to lay it out 40 or 50 yards down the field. We'll get a good idea of what his arm strength is like here if he gets the time to unleash it.
Oh, he throws it a long way down the sideline. Brennan, it's wide, incomplete.
Intercepted out of bounds. Chance Brennan caught the ball, the strong safety, but he was out of bounds.
So with 12 seconds, it's 4th down. And if they try that again, Frostproof will have the ball at the 40.
Let's see on the replay here as the ball flies deep down the field. The 1 foot might have been on the chalk there. Obviously it was.
The Panthers go for it. That one is incomplete, and Frostproof, with 7 seconds to go, will take a shot at the end zone from the Newberry 40.
That's a dangerous gamble right there because you're going to give the other guy his gun with 1 bullet in it, and anything can happen. I don't know that that wasn't a bit risky.
And now Frostproof calls a timeout with 7 seconds to go in the first half. This is the longest half of high school football I've seen in centuries.
The clock stopped a lot here in the second quarter as the ball's been flying around.
So now they're down trying to figure out what they're going to do with these final 7 seconds. The Miami Heat is celebrating its 5th anniversary this season on Sports Channel. We hope you'll join us for some fast-paced action as the Heat battle such teams as the Celtics, Bulls, Lakers, the Magic, and more right here on Sports Channel, the home of the Heat. Be sure to check your local listings for availability in your area.
Well, with 7 seconds to go, the Bulldogs are going to take a shot at a miracle right here as Ed James, the head coach at Newberry, looks on.
And there will be 3 wide receivers to the right for the Bulldogs of Frostproof. Hires will be in the shotgun.
Secondary is really playing kind of close in a situation like this. They should be back near that end zone. No, they shouldn't because they got a rush like that.
Once again, a big rush. Marcellus Monroe is in there defensively along with Carlton Lee and Trey Whidden, all those guys on the pass rush. And the Newberry Panthers and Frostproof Bulldogs head to the locker room tied at 7. Let's go down to the field to Art Schifrin.
Coach James, your defense is playing very well out here tonight. Tell us about that punt play. What happened there? You had a different guy back.
Well, Maurice has been a little bit hindered in his punting with his knee like he was, and we just had a new snapper in there, and he got a bad one off, and so we've, going back to our original snapper, we'll be all right.
Obviously, your defense is playing very well. What do you need to do offensively to turn things around a little bit in the second half?
A little bit more consistency. We hit the big play there, and we're going to come back try to establish something with our ground game and be a little bit more consistent. Our defense is playing great, so we're just going to try to be patient from here.
Okay, very good. Thanks a lot, and good luck in the second half. We'll be back with halftime activities right after this on Sports Channel.
Davis streaking down the sideline for Frostproof, but couldn't catch up with it.
Kevin Robinson was beaten by Tony Davis. Number 10 on defense was watching number 10 on offense run right by him on the streak route. Tony Davis just trying to burn down the sideline as fast as he could go, and he really had 2 or 3 steps on Kevin Robinson. Hires just overthrows him. And what do we see again? The punting unit on the field.
And still 8:08 to go in the third quarter. Miles Davis, a shank wobbler that hits the bench. And they will mark it out of bounds at the 47-yard line. And that will be an 11-yarder. So Newberry very happy with that kick. Will get excellent field position, and neither team can get off a good punt.
Yeah, actually some ugly punting going on out there tonight. If either team really was able to boom the ball, they would have a tremendous advantage in field position, but they both don't execute the punting game very well.
Monroe runs right into traffic and is immediately knocked to the ground by Gary Swain, the left tackle. He got nowhere, maybe a foot, that's about it. Seven minutes, 40 seconds to go, third quarter, tied at 7. Maurice Bell operating out of the shotgun. He's in trouble. Bell will throw the ball into the stands. He hits a cheerleader in the head, and no grounding is called. That ball was thrown out of bounds 10 yards, nowhere near any possible receiver, and Maurice Bell got away with it. She was open. Watch this pass.
Well, at least it's his own cheerleader. Oh, she looked it right in. She looked it right into her nose.
Never took her eye off it, did she?
Well, I tell you what, I hope you like defense, because the defenses out here are just taking control of this game, and the offenses are getting absolutely zero zip done. Nada. Nothing.
Bell gives it to Hamilton. Hamilton gets about 4 flag on the play. I think it's illegal motion. The man in motion turned upfield before the snap. And if so, I would imagine it'll be declined because Newberry will be facing 4th and 6.
Illegal motion, Newberry.
They'll decline the penalty. It'll be 4th down and 6 from the 49 of the Bulldogs.
Well, I think this ugly offense is begetting ugly punts here. They seem to be feeding off of each other.
They need to start feeding off the defense because both defenses up front particularly staying so active, so aggressive. The offensive line of each team is just being completely whipped by the other defensive front.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's happening. Defense is in control.
Bell, a line drive over the head of Baldwin. It'll roll to the 1-yard line. Baldwin picks it up. There's a clip at the 5. Baldwin run out of bounds and then hit out of bounds at the 16. No flag on that, but a clip at the 5 will put Frostproof back at their own 2-yard line.
Well, that was certainly the best punt of this championship battle, and even though it was run back, the clip will bring it back inside the 5-yard line.
48 yards on the kick for Maurice Bell. That is double what he had been averaging.
At least 20 of it was via the roll, but he'll
After
take it
change
all.
of possession, flipping Frostproof.
Frostproof will be back inside its 3-yard line. Let that ball go, Mr. Baldwin.
Well, he takes a chance, Larry. He almost comes away with the success, but it was number 13, Chance Brannon, who made the clip, and
Hardly seemed like he touched them. It seemed the 2 guys kind of fell down. Maybe there was enough of a push. But that penalty is very costly, and picking up the ball at the 1-yard line by Brannon, or rather Baldwin, that's a mistake for the Frostproof Bulldogs. Dennis Baldwin, a 5'9" junior. Up the middle, Hamilton fights for about 5. He was drilled at the 5-yard line, fought forward for 5 more. David Robinson got there first. Eric Natil also in on the coverage.
8 blue jerseys crowding the line. line of scrimmage. You see them all near the football right there. Number 2, Johnny Smith, the linebacker, was almost there to take the handoff.
Lord did a nice job. The fullback got enough of his right shoulder on Smith to knock him out of the way.
Oh, look at that play.
Smith could not be denied on that one. Loose ball. They're saying it's down at the 4.
Yeah, they're clearly saying the ball was down, but a huge play by the nose tackle, I believe. Let's see if we can pick up the number. It's number 2, Johnny Smith, playing like a goal line defense. He's really a linebacker, and he's up there in the gap. He's unblocked and destroys the play completely.
Johnny Smith with the big play for the Newberry defense. Frostproof facing 3rd and long from their 4-yard line. Hires with the deep pass down the sideline. Jump ball. Baldwin's got it. And he's out of bounds at the 30. Where do they mark him? Around the 35, I believe he stepped out, the 36. But Dennis Baldwin with an outstanding catch for Frostproof.
Well, Mark Allen, number 7 for the Newberry Panthers, reads this play all the way and actually goes for the interception. He's just out-leaped by Dennis Baldwin. Mark Allen thinks he's got an interception right here. He's timed his leap perfectly. He says, I'm going to get this ball, and then up and over his back goes Dennis Baldwin. What a huge catch for Frostproof.
And now timeout is called by the Bulldogs. Confusion in the alignment. And with 5:39 to go in the 3rd quarter, Coach Brannon's team uses its 2nd timeout of the half. And Robert Hires will talk it over. Frostproof and Newberry battling for the 2A title, and they are all tied up. Sports Channel also brings you the best in college basketball all season long with the Florida Gators, South Florida Bulls, JU Dolphins, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, plus exciting conference action from around the country. Be sure to check your local listings every day for times and matchups of college basketball in your area right here on Sports Channel. We talked about the Rocket from Newberry, Ricky Natile. Ricky's down on the field with Art Schifrin.
Ricky, you got your team here. They're playing a great defensive ball game. What do you think about it tonight?
They look good on defense. Right now, the defense is what's keeping us in the game. They've always thrived on defense, and so far that's what's holding us up. If we can get the offense going, I'm pretty sure we can win this game.
What's happening with you? Let's take a look at this play first.
In trouble, the defense makes the play. Loose ball, but Frostproof fell on it. I believe it was the left tackle, Davis, falling on the loose ball, but a loss on the play of about 8. Back down to Art with Ricky Natile.
What's happening with you? You had a couple of games with the Broncos, then when Mark Jackson came back, they let you go again. What is your status right now?
Right now, I'm a free agent once I was released by Denver. So since the season's almost over now, there's only 3 weeks left, I guess. I'm just going to wait till next year and work out for a couple of teams that I may be interested in and that may be interested in me, and then I'm going to see what happens.
Okay, good enough. Thanks a lot, Rick. Thanks for joining us.
One thing I remember about Ricky Natile was the last time the Florida Gators had a real threat on the punt return was when Ricky Natile was bringing them back in 84, 5, and 6. Nice middle screen for the Frostproof Bulldogs. Gets back the yardage they lost on the previous play, and will set them up with a 3rd down.
Oh, the play's well set up. The tremendous rush that Newberry's been putting on. This is one way to slow them down. There's a missed tackle in the secondary. There's another one. Finally, it's number 89, Robinson, making the tackle. But still, the Bulldogs are looking at a 3rd and 9.
Ball at the 37-yard line. 4:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Hires in trouble. Down he goes again. Mark Allen, or rather Johnny Smith on the blitz along with Carlton Lee.
Has Johnny Smith had a good 3rd quarter or what? The kid's just been awesome out there. The inside linebacker, he looks more like a free safety, but he plays inside linebacker. On many occasions, he's been up in the interior of the line and just making plays all over the field.
You want an idea of how much Robert Hires has been hounded in this football game? He's now carried the ball 8 times for minus 63 yards. Miles Davis trying to get off a punt, gets off a good one. Jerani Rollins fields it at the 32. Rollins running left side, picks up a couple of blocks, flag on the play. Rollins cuts it back and is dropped at the 44 of Frostproof, but we'll have to check out the flag.
He had great position and made a crushing block. See what the official said.
After the change of possession, clipping Newberry.
Well, it wasn't Tommy Hempel. He delivered the blow right to the head of the Frostproof Bulldog, Paul Weaver, who was covering. Watch Weaver, number 7. Boom, right there. Hempel really made the huge hit.
We didn't see the clip around midfield. Newberry will have it instead at their 34-yard line, so the penalty ends up costing the Panthers more than 20 yards of field position, and this entire game has been a game of field position. On first down, the inside handoff, and that's Monroe. Marcellus Monroe gets forward for about 5. David Nelson tripped him up.
Well, considering Frostproof started that last drive inside their 5, they really did a nice job of getting the ball out and got the excellent punt to put the Panthers in their own territory.
Same play, not much there. Frostproof gang tackling right around the 40-yard line.
Well, we sang the praises of the Panther defense. We can continue to praise the Bulldog defense, too. Time and time again, we continue to say that the defenses are simply controlling the line of scrimmage. The offenses are getting nothing done.
David Nelson, back-to-back tackles for Frostproof. Quick pass, and Rollins was surrounded by defenders. Maurice Bell tried to squeeze it in there, but he had no chance.
Now, only 5 Bulldogs in coverage right there. Watch the 5 guys surround Rollins. There they are. There's 4 of them. There's another one just out of camera range.
So that was a very quick possession for Newberry. Still 2:26 to go in the third. Now keep in mind that 29.8 average includes a 48-yarder. The other 3 kicks combined average around 21. Bell, another good one. Line drive fielded by Baldwin at the 28. Dennis Baldwin gets it back about 10 yards to the 38-yard line, and a flag is thrown at the end of the play.
Benny Crawford, number 40, hustling downfield for Newberry, doing a great job right there in coverage.
32 yards on the punt, 10 on the return.
During the return, clipping Frostproof.
There's a flip thrown or flag thrown on a clip after the man was down. Let's see if we can find it.
What do you call this? The obligatory clipping foul on every punt? It's almost automatic. Yeah, that's number 13 right there, Brandon, and he made the hit in the back on an earlier punt, on the last one, matter of fact, inside the 5.
So much for the theory that the coach's kid is the guy who doesn't make the mental mistake.
That's right.
Chance has had a couple of them. Running right side, not much there for Hamilton. Gets to the 26, gives it 3. Keith Kelsey makes the stop for Newberry. Kelsey, pretty good-looking ball player for the Newberry Panthers. Just a sophomore, 6'2", 185. When he fills out, he is going to be a good one. That's what the college recruiters like to see. Not so much those 170-pound seniors. It's those 185-pound sophomores. There's Hamilton finding some room, and Tyrone Hamilton gets up near the 38-yard line, and another first down for Frostproof.
Once again, Tyrone Hamilton, generally not the ball carrier in this offense. It was Ernest Hamilton that went down with the severe knee injury in the first half. Tyrone himself plays excellent defense, has been on the field quite often this evening, getting it all done.
Nice block by the left tackle, Miles Davis, as he drove Johnny Smith backwards, helping find some of that running room. There's Hamilton again. Nice through a couple of tacklers and gets about 4. Tyrone Hamilton came into this game with 217 yards on the year, averaging about 3 or 4 carries, between 3 and 4 carries a game. 18 carries today as he fills in for Ernest Hamilton, his nephew, who went out early with a knee injury. Newberry's defense swarms Hamilton that time. There's Johnny Smith along with Justin Holder.
Johnny of the ball carrier right there, and also Calton Lee, number 61, celebrating there in the backfield.
Tell you, if Newberry can find a quarterback, they're going to be awfully good next year because a lot of this defense will be back for the Panthers. Third down, they're 3 for 12 here. Overthrown on the post, and it's dropped right in the hands of Eric Nadil. Cousin Ricky will not be happy about that one, Eric. Right in his meat hooks, and he just didn't bring it in.
It's almost too easy as you anticipate watching that ball float into your chest. He made the leap. He didn't make the catch, and he says, oh, how could I do that? Pounding the ground in frustration.
This punt should be the final play of the third quarter with just 4 seconds remaining. Miles Davis for the 9th time. That punt will be fielded on the run at the 35. Rollins has room. Jerani Rollins inside the 45 and down to the 38-yard line. So Jerani Rollins of Newberry takes a short line drive punt of 26 yards and brings it back 27. The Panthers will be inside Frostproof territory as we get set to head to the fourth quarter.
Jerani Rollins getting behind that blue wall and getting his team great field position.
We are tied at 7, heading to the fourth. We're at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida Field in Gainesville for the Florida High School Football Championships. This is the 2A game between the Newberry Panthers and the Bulldogs from Frostproof. The two teams have been going back and forth. Frostproof has had the most scoring opportunities, but Newberry, with the game tied at 7, has great field position to open the fourth quarter. Monroe goes up the middle for about 4 on first down.
Marcellus Monroe with 560 yards rushing coming into this championship battle, averaged over 6 yards per carry during the year. Takes a little counter step right there.
And basically the same play, gets about 2 or 3 more, brings up a third down situation. Jamie Lanier makes the tackle for Frostproof.
The defenses just continue to be tough. Newberry with great field position. Doesn't get significant yardage on first and second down. Here's a third down conversion attempt. Short.
They go inside with Hamilton, and Andre Hamilton 2 yards shy of first down.
In this battle, you need 4 downs to make a first down, don't you, instead of 3.
Maybe 5. Ed James will find out if 4 is enough with the ball at the 30. Too far to try a field goal to break the tie, so they'll go for it. Brad Lord checks back into the lineup. Fourth down and a couple. That's illegal motion. Flag is down. Bell on the keeper has the first down. It won't count. The man in motion again turned upfield way too early.
Absolutely so. Marcellus Monroe in motion made a direction change toward the line of scrimmage.
Motion, Newberry.
Before the snap. Look at the motion man coming right to left. Now he turns upfield. You can't do that. You can't turn upfield before the snap.
So it'll bring up a 3rd and 7 situation back at the 35-yard line. I'm sorry, 4th down and 7. Much tougher one, and now Ed James has to think about trying to pin him deep with a punt, perhaps, instead of going for it early in the fourth quarter.
They want to think about it, give it more consideration, so they're going to call timeout and send the coach on the field for a discussion.
And each team is down to 1 timeout remaining in this game now. Very early stages of the fourth won by Jacksonville University Christian. Congratulations to Robbie Pruitt and his staff and his players for University Christian, their 4th title in 6 years, and they're the first Florida high school to win 5 championships outright, joining Monticello Jefferson County with 5 titles, but Monticello did share one year when they tied in the championship game.
Of course, Monticello is a 2A school, and that's what we're seeing this evening, the battle of the 2A championship division. Nothing's really changed, has it, in this ball game since halftime? The third quarter's a draw. It was a draw at halftime, so what's going to break here? What's going to happen?
Well, we're about to find out on 4th down and 7 from the 35. No flags. Bell throwing deep. The ball is picked off. That's Brannon. Brannon across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And there is a big pop delivered by a Newberry man after the play. No flag. And that is a huge break for the Newberry Panthers as Charles Nelson, an offensive lineman, just slammed into someone. Minutes and 18 seconds to go in the 4th quarter here in Gainesville. Frostproof will go on offense. The Bulldog defense responding to the challenge and keeping Newberry off the board. We're still tied at 7. Tyrone Hamilton. And he gets about 5 or 6 yards. We have just been informed that the University of Florida volleyball team of Coach Mary Wise has qualified for the NCAA Final Four, defeating Texas in a 5-game match over in the O'Connell Center right behind us. And what a super program Mary Wise has going at the University of Florida. 34-1 this year, 69-6 in 2 seasons. Not too shabby. They'll play UCLA in the national semifinals. Quick hitch pattern in the flat. It's caught by Weaver, and Weaver might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
While you're talking about volleyball, what's exciting, too, is to see the growth of women's volleyball in the high schools around the state of Florida. That's a tremendous sport for women in this state, and this High School Activities Association is very excited about the growth of volleyball in our state. Of course, with the huge population that we have, it's a great opportunity for young ladies to be active and compete in a super sport.
Injured Newberry Panther on the field. We have a little break in the action. The ball spotted just shy of the 22-yard line as Frostproof faces the 3rd down, and that's Johnny Smith, and he's up on his own. Little shaken up. He'll have to come out of the game for at least 1 play.
Well, he deserves a rest, too, doesn't he? He's been awesome out there on defense. Kid deserves a break.
Well, he'll get one. Maybe just a little wind knocked out of him.
Watch Johnny Smith. Oh, gosh, the fullback puts his head right in the tummy.
Quick pitch to Hamilton. Tyrone Hamilton breaks it back against the grain, and it's going to be close. I think he's a little shy of what he needs for the 1st down. Marcellus Monroe got a hand on him and kind of rode him to the ground just shy of 1st down yardage by about 2 feet. And as a result, the Frostproof Bulldogs will have to punt with just over 8.5 minutes remaining in this 2A championship game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the prior series and on this series, it was the defenses again that made the big play. What a defensive battle we're seeing here in this championship fight.
Pretty good punt. Fielded at the 36, and Rollins is dropped for a loss of a yard on the return.
Was a good punt.
So Miles Davis, who's had trouble, gets off a 33-yarder, but with good hang time, that allowed his coverage to get down.
Right. There was the net return that was important there, and they got nothing, really, as the ball was kicked so highly.
Well, 8:14 to go as they start the clock once again. 7-7 tie between Newberry and Frostproof in the 4th quarter.
Somebody's got to step up on offense on one of these 2 teams and say they want to be champions.
Right up the middle, Hamilton, he gets about a couple. Last year, we had the 5A championship game end in a tie. This year, that won't happen. Let's go down the field to Art Schifrin.
Well, you're exactly right, Larry. There will not be co-champions this year because of the 5A championship game ending in a tie. That was the second time in state history that they had co-champions, so they have instituted the Kansas tiebreaker, which they have throughout the playoff system so that they can get to this point. Now they will have a Kansas tiebreaker to break a tie, and they will have the ball at the 10-yard line in the Kansas tiebreaker, each team with 4 chances to try and score. And if they are still tied after that, they'll do it all over again.
So we'll see if we get to the tiebreaker. Of course, here on Sports Channel a week ago, people were starting to get excited. We were starting to get excited about a tiebreaker in that SEC championship game, but didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, they had instituted that same rule for that battle in Birmingham, but it's nice to know that someone will walk away being a champion tonight, although right now this game seems like it could go on and be tied forever. Oh.
I believe that's Jamie Lanier, 42, inside linebacker for Frostproof.
Well, it's a violent game, and these kids are really tough. He's back and ready to go in. He's chomping at the bit to get back on the field.
Injuries have been a problem for the Bulldogs, but they have not given in to the problems those injuries have caused. Bell runs the option and stumbles to the ground for no gain. Out there defensively was Baldwin, but Maurice Bell kind of tackled himself that time.
And we're looking at another 3rd and long conversion because they got nothing done on 1st and 2nd down.
Defenses are playing so good, the offensive guys are tackling themselves.
I don't know that they're even expecting to make a 1st down.
Right tackle for Newberry is getting a good head start on that pull. Way off the line of scrimmage. Rollins on the wingback reverse. Gets close to the 45, and depending on where they spot it, he may have the 1st down.
I think some of the tackling attempts that came from behind actually pushed him forward beyond the 1st down marker. No, they're not even going to measure. They're going to give it to him. Watch from behind as this little shovel pass is made. I don't know if that's a lateral or a pass. Didn't seem to be going forward. That was rather dangerous. But the pile pushes forward for the 1st down.
Great extra effort. Gets the 1st down for Newberry, and now Monroe goes up the middle, gets close to 5. That's one of the best 1st down plays Newberry's had in a while.
One of the only 1st down plays. I can't recall seeing a 1st down play by either team in some time.
On 2nd, big hole opens up for Hamilton, and he's down at the 46-yard line of Frostproof, a yard shy of the 1st down. Andre Hamilton, who had the long touchdown run earlier in the game. And on 13 carries, he's now at 69 yards on the day. 6 minutes to go in the state 2A championship game. Newberry with a 3rd and 1. There's a big hole opening up for Hamilton. He's inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Well, for the first time in this second half, one of these offenses has gotten something going. Right there's the quick dive play to the back.
Another quick play to Rollins, and Rollins loses a couple. They make it look like a shovel pass. The first one was a lateral. It really didn't go forward. That ball might have if we get another look at it.
That'd be a tough call for the official to make if that ball is mishandled, because if it's a forward pass, it's an incompletion. If it's a back or a sideways lateral, it's a fumble.
David Nelson, another tackle for Frostproof. He's played very well here in the second half. But it's a 2nd and long for the Panthers. Hamilton runs right into and is spun into the ground by Brian Hutto.
Hutto did a super job right there. He was by himself, facing the quick tailback coming out of the backfield, Hamilton, and Hutto did the job.
Ferris Brannon makes a defensive substitution or two.
Once again, this Frostproof team was in this championship battle last year, came up short.
And their defense battled very hard that whole time. 3 seconds on the 7-7 tie here in Gainesville, the 2A championship on the line. The Bulldogs of Frostproof, the Panthers from Newberry, as they go head-to-head. Great basketball tournament in Orlando. We hope you'll be there December 19th and 20th for the Sunshine Basketball Challenge hosted by the Gators and the Seminoles. Florida and Florida State battling Temple and NC Charlotte on alternating evenings. The doubleheaders get underway each day at 4 p.m. with Florida State playing the early game. The Gators in the 7 o'clock ball game. For ticket information, call 904-375-4683, or if you're in the state of Florida, 1-800-34-GATOR.
I'm sure a lot of kids in this football game will have basketball uniforms on before Monday, probably. As soon as they get home, the basketball coach is going to grab some of them, and they'll be representing their schools on the hard court.
On third down, Bell over the middle into traffic, incomplete. Frostproof is getting a lot of guys back there in coverage on those hook routes and crossing routes.
Really are a tremendous job in the secondary. That time it was Clay Brantley, number 4, who had a shot at the football. Saw Brian Hutto, number 36, the other cornerback, also in coverage.
Let's see if Newberry punts it away, tries to pin Frostproof deep. Checking into the lineup for the Panthers is Tommy Hemphill, the sophomore wideout, 6'4", 195. The big sophomore. From the shotgun. Flag on the play, it's motion again. Deep down the middle, it's intercepted again by Brannon. Brannon to the 15, and it's thrown to the ground at the 16-yard line. And let's check out that flag, but it appeared again there was motion by Newberry before the snap.
The coach's son, Chance Brannon, playing center field as he should as a free safety.
Illegal motion, Newberry.
And now what do? Do you take it and see if they can punt? The 16 is not exactly great field position, but it could be worse.
I think it's a coin flip, really. It does turn out to be a good
Illegal
punt
motion,
in essence.
Newberry declines.
But that's a break for Newberry because Frostproof is going to be on their own 16 after this interception. I don't know that they could punt the ball that well. I'm kind of surprised Frostproof doesn't make them punt. There's the coach's son we talked about, Chance Brannon, coming up with a big turnover.
He has 2 interceptions, a couple of clips, a few tackles. From the 16-yard line. Quick slant route. What a diving catch by Dennis Baldwin. Outstanding grab by the wide receiver.
Robert Hires seemed to lose the handle on the ball at the exchange from center. It seemed to me for a moment that he had no intention to pass the ball, but then he rockets it out there to Baldwin, who makes a great catch on the slant.
There's Baldwin, 4 catches for 90 yards. First down from the 29. Hamilton looking for some friends, drops the ball. Looks like Frostproof fell on it back at the 25. It'll be a loss of 4. Hires the quarterback, also one of the offensive linemen, number 78 on the pile. That's Sean Simmons, the right tackle. And it's Simmons, I believe, who ended up with it.
Yeah, I agree, but it was Calvin Lee who caused the havoc in the backfield right there, number 61 for the Newberry Panthers.
It's getting to the point in this game where neither team wants their offense on the field.
We're going to have to start explaining that Kansas tiebreaker to some extent here, it seems.
Less than 3 minutes to go. Second and long for the Bulldogs. Again, they've run the slant, and it's incomplete right at Mark Allen, but a little bit underthrown for the Newberry corner, who has 9 interceptions.
Right at Mark Allen, who happens to be playing defense for the other team. Number 7, Mark Allen, has a chance, a much more better chance than Dennis Baldwin does, number 5, who's late getting there, or the ball got there early, either way.
2:48 to go in the game, 7-7 tie in the 2A championship game. There will be no co-champs. They'll go to the tiebreaker if regulation play ends up 7-7. Hires in trouble again. Running right is tripped up and goes down at the 18. Calvin Lee. And Justin Holder once again putting tremendous pressure on Robert Hires.
Robert Hires with two backs in to help protect, but still Calvin Lee gets in and penetrates. Also Justin Holder, number 66, and David Robinson, number 89. A lot of heat from those guys in blue jerseys up front.
Robert Hires now minus 70 yards on the ground.
Ooh.
Davis with a pretty good kick. And it'll hit right around midfield, and now they will try to mark it. Where did it go out of bounds? It went out of bounds at the 46 of Frostproof. So it looked like a good kick in the air, but it went so wide to the right that he lost some real estate on it. Just a 28-yard boot. And Newberry with the ball at the Frostproof 46, 2:06 to go, but keep in mind, no timeouts for the Panthers.
And we don't think that either team really has the ability to kick the ball on a field goal to any extent, so they got to have to get a touchdown to win this thing.
30 yards is about the max. They run inside. Hamilton gets almost nothing. Maybe a yard.
1:59. We're under the 2-minute mark now, Larry.
If it ends up tied, they'll toss a coin to see who starts first at the 10-yard line, and you get a normal series of downs. If you score a touchdown, the other guy's got to get a touchdown to match it. If you kick a field goal, they get a chance, and they get a touchdown, they win. Field goal, they tie, and you do it again. If they don't score, you're the winner. Right side almost picked off. Breaking on it was Robert Hires, and he took the ball away from Jerani Rollins.
Hires had a great shot at the interception, but was not able to make the catch.
The broadcast rights to today's telecast have been granted to Sports Channel Florida by the Florida High School Activities Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or retransmission of this game without the express written consent of Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. Along with Clark Schifrin and Jim Yarbrough, this is Larry Vitale in Gainesville. 3rd and long for Newberry in the 2A title game that's all tied up. They tried a middle screen. Everybody ran into each other, and it falls incomplete as Rollins got tangled up with Andre Hamilton.
Well, initially it looks like that counter tray play where watch the offensive lineman pull from the left side. They try and dish the ball off, but Rollins is not able to get free. I think they were going to originally shovel pass to him, but they had to throw the ball overhand incomplete.
So it's 4th down. They will not punt it. They're setting up a middle screen. Howard incomplete. Intercepted. Baldwin in the open field. If he can outrun Bell, he will score. Dennis Baldwin goes all the way for the touchdown.
The celebration along the sideline. Dennis Baldwin, who plays wide receiver for Frostproof and has done a super job all evening, this time on defense, makes the huge interception. I believe the ball was deflected. We're not sure who made the deflection.
They tried to set up a middle screen to Lamar Howard. The ball appeared to be tipped, and then it was run for about 55 yards.
What a beautiful job he did in the open field, too, avoiding
the extra point. Up and good, and now with 1:16 to go and no timeouts, the Newberry Panthers are down by 7.
Maurice Bell tries to get the ball to
Lamario Howard right through his hands.
And instead, into the hands of Dennis Baldwin, who makes the great move in the open field on Maurice Bell and struts, as he should, into the end zone.
I imagine Coach Brandon would like to see him sprint into the end zone and then strut afterwards. That's a Bulldog. Ronnie Rollins, Andre Hamilton, Lamario Howard deep for Newberry. They now need a big play on a kick return or on the passing arm of Maurice Bell.
Look, they got dog bones over there doing the chop to the head of the Newberry Panthers, and was that ever a blow? A huge blow late in this fourth quarter, and it takes big plays to win championships, and was that ever a big play for the Bulldogs?
Maurice Bell coming into this game, 22 touchdowns and 13 interceptions today. He is 8 for 25, no touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Coach Barris Brannon, now you think of those timeouts, including the one with the fourth down, draw them off play timeout. We know Ed James would like to have one available. Hamilton gets the kickoff. Looking for running room, doesn't find much. Gets to the corner flag on the play. That might have been a little bit of a face mask. Didn't seem like there was anyone around throwing a block.
I think that's the right call. It looked like someone just grazed the face mask on the attempted tackle.
During the run back, face mask, Frostproof.
Ooh, that's going to help Newberry's cause with 1:07 to go, an additional 15 yards tacked on. They're going to be out to where? The 45 maybe, huh?
In high school, they're all 15-yarders. Of course, in college and the pros, you have the 5-yard or the 15. I don't know, Jim. I like the fact that in high school they're all major. It keeps guys from going at the head. They're all major fouls because that's real dangerous.
Dangerous enough as it is, and I would agree with that.
Look at the clock running, however, on the change of possession. Unlike college, the clock starts right away. Newberry losing a few seconds there. Bell swings it out. Rollins can't bring it in. 51 ticks left on the clock.
Oh, Geronimo Rollins had a chance to pick up yardage and simply run out of bounds. There was no Bulldog near him. Just not able to make the grab, but he was hustling toward the sideline. He could have stopped the clock that way.
Rollins, just a junior, one of many Newberry Panthers players that will be back next year, but they need a big break now. They need more yards than they have seconds left on the clock. Bell waving his man further downfield, throws it for Hamilton. He's got it! Hamilton will go all the way!
Oh, my goodness.
Frostproof let a man get behind the defense, up by a touchdown with less than a minute to go. And Andre Hamilton on the 56-yard reception has his second touchdown of the game.
And Larry, you know who the quarterback was? Dennis Baldwin, the kid that made the huge interception just a moment ago. And Robert Hires, the quarterback, was over in the secondary to help out, and they got mesmerized looking in the backfield as Maurice Bell was running for his life and allowed the wide receiver to simply run right by him.
And now timeout is called by Frostproof with 41 seconds to go. That's their final timeout. Newberry needs the extra point to tie the game.
Well, in this situation, the secondary is generally so conservative because they don't want anyone to get behind them. Maurice Bell says, go. He says, they're sitting on you, take off. And does he ever take off? Andre Hamilton on the huge touchdown catch, and what a turn of events. Who would have thunk it, huh?
So Hamilton having himself a heck of a ball game. He's Newberry's leading runner with 83 yards and a touchdown. And he's now caught a couple of passes, including a touchdown. And now Maurice Bell, who's been bothered by a sore knee, wearing a brace on it, has to make the extra point to tie this game with 41 seconds to go to give Newberry a shot at a tiebreaker.
Yeah, both these teams kicking the ball straight away. No soccer-style kickers here.
Funny hold, it's no good. He either dropped the snap. There was a problem with the snap. You could tell that the hold was not going straight down, and Newberry will have to go for the onside kick.
It's a miss hold. The snap looked okay.
Snap was fine.
Geronimo Rollins, I think, just couldn't find the handle on the ball and did not get it down firmly for the kick. What a tough break for Newberry.
You know, you think back to last year. Remember that game that ended up tied, the Southridge-Orlando Evans game when the extra point went wide and there was no tiebreaker? Here, Newberry needed the extra point to force the tiebreaker, which now exists. they cannot convert the extra point. It looked like a good snap. It is. Rollins just can't handle it.
Yeah, they're talking to Maurice Bell, and it's really not his fault. He had no chance at all. It was just the hold was not there. He had no chance. He had to double hitch it there.
Here's the onside kick. There you see all the guys lined up on the left side for Newberry. The ball has to go 10 yards.
And there's 41 ticks left on the clock just in case they do get it. Miracle of miracles.
Newberry has to be careful not to be offside. They are offside. That's dead ball in high school. They stop it and they kick it over. But that's just 5 more yards. If they are fortunate enough to recover, that's 5 more they need in those last 41 seconds.
Yeah, but they would take the chance, I guess, if they can be as close as they can to breaking on that ball as it's kicked. If the penalty's only 5 yards and the penalty's not giving the ball to Frostproof, they're willing to take that gamble.
So that'll move it back to the 35-yard line. 41 seconds left. No timeouts left on the board for either squad, although they show one left for Frostproof. They took a timeout before that extra point. So if Frostproof recovers, they take a knee twice and the game's over.
Frostproof doesn't have that many guys over where they're going to kick the ball. There's only about 2 guys crowding the 45-yard line.
That ball
they
goes
got
to
it.
10 yards.
They got it.
Loose ball, who's got it? Newberry says they do. Let's check out the officials on the pile. The Panthers had 2 shots at it at the Frostproof 45-yard line. They touched it before the 10-yard zone. Frostproof gets it automatically. The ball was touched apparently around the 45 or 46-yard line by a Newberry Panther.
Well, let's see. That's 5 yards right there. 9. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. He was airborne, and the ball was above the yard marker. Oh, I don't know about that, but they thought they had a better angle than we
The
did.
couch that was thrown beyond the 45-yard line, and that's where you can start touching. As after that 10 yards, the officials have conferred. It appears the call will stand. Hold on.
The touching occurred after 10 yards. First down, Newberry.
Touching occurred after 10 yards. That's the proper call from our angle. Watch, the Newberry Panther is airborne after the ball goes 10 yards. Right there, and the ball is above the mark. That's as close as you can call, but
You could call that either way.
well, it's like in baseball. A tie goes to the runner, I think, right there. Tie goes to the kicking team in this instance.
And if I'm Ferris Brannon, I'm not worried about the call. I'm going to go to the officials right now and say, hey, guys, how come no time ran off the clock? That ball was touched, kicked, rolled 8.5 yards. There was a pileup, and the clock never started. Once that ball is touched, the clock should start. 41 seconds, that's a lot of time. We know that Maurice Bell has a great arm.
Frostproof is in man coverage over here on the 2 twin receivers.
Bell going deep down the left sideline, and that ball is incomplete. Boy, did Brannon come over there and make a big hit. Chance Brannon got over there with a very strong hit on that jump ball to make sure there was no chance that Howard could come away with it. 31 seconds left.
That's the job of the free safety. Make them pay if they go up for that football. I thought Maurice Bell was going to go to the wide side of the field where he had man coverage and a huge piece of real estate to work with.
They throw the hitch to Rollins. He dropped it. Rollins dropped it. Let's go quickly down to Art Schifrin.
Apparently the officials on the field forgot about the 5-yard penalty on the previous play. That's the explanation that was given to the Newberry bench, is that the original call, they had forgotten about the penalty, and the ball did go the 10 yards necessary.
Okay. And as we saw, if it went 10 yards, it went 10 yards and an inch. 3rd down and 10. Bell running out of trouble. Gets the block. He'll run it, and he runs out of bounds after a very short gain. Only 19 seconds left on the clock, and Newberry now facing fourth down.
Yeah, that's the most important part of this equation. It's fourth down. The 19 seconds is important, but it's one play if you don't make the first down, and it's over. Make the first down, and you got a few ticks left to create the miracle.
Remember, the clock will stop on a first down, but only to move the chains. First down can get out of bounds. They would have probably just two shots at the end zone. If they don't get a first down here, this game is over. They swing it out, incomplete, intended for Monroe, who had three Frostproof defenders bearing down on him. He never would have gotten 10 yards had he caught it. And now all the Bulldogs have to do is go out there and snap it once, and they will win the Florida Class 2A state championship.
What an exciting few minutes in the last part of this ball game. Is the defense has just controlled the third quarter, most of the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden the fireworks begin. Two quick scores, the missed extra point, of course, making the difference here in this championship battle.
Hires takes one knee, the clock will wind down, and last year's state runner-up, Frostproof, returns to the site of that disappointment, and this time they will go home with the trophy as the Bulldogs overcome two critical injuries in the game, one to Ernest Hamilton, the other to their outstanding defensive end, Mike Chatlos, and they come away with the Florida Class 2A state championship, and you know that's a sweet victory for that man, Coach Ferris Brannon, 25 years at the school.
Yeah, he wants his kids to come over and shake hands and enjoy the victory after congratulating their opponent, the Newberry Panthers. That's what he's trying to do, get his kids over there, and much like the Stanley Cup where the guys line up and shake hands after the battle.
18 years ago, Ferris Brannon and Frostproof won the state championship in 1974 in Class 1A. They were the runner-up in 81. They have been in the playoffs every year but one for the last 14 seasons. And they finally get that championship for the second time for